Hey guys, this is Matt here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you all my newest LEGO custom minifigure, this Canadian themed Mandalorian bounty hunter. So let's get right into it. So for those of you who don't know, it is actually Canada Day coming up on July 1st, and I thought it'd be really cool to paint a red and white custom Star Wars minifigure for that, and then it was just down to deciding what kind of minifigure to use, and I decided on a Mandalorian, because Mandalorians really are my favorite minifigures to paint with that unique helmet and very specific armor design on there. Some of you actually might remember my first ever Star Wars minifigure, this guy here, this brown and gold and dark blue Mandalorian that I painted, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. And ever since I made that minifigure, I've just really enjoyed painting these guys up. So we'll just dive right into this figure here. For the chest pieces, or the chest armor, torso armor here, and the shoulder pads, those are made out of Milliput epoxy putty. His leg armor pieces down here are made out of cardstock paper, because I wanted something really thin for those pieces that wouldn't stick out too well, and I think the cardstock worked really well there. Right along here he's kind of got this neck piece still on the actual torso itself, sorry about the lighting here, but that's made out of a thin piece of plastic that I think I got off of an ice cream tub. A couple of the other materials I used were for like the belt here, that's just the cloth material I make out of painted bed sheet, and that's the same with these gauntlet kind of forearm pieces here, which hold the Mandalorian Vambraces. So for the arms themselves, you can see over here we got the shoulder pad that I already mentioned. I made out of that Milliput, and I painted on a white maple leaf. It's kind of hard to tell. Try to block the light as much as I can. But you can see that they're kind of in that, staying with that Canada or Canadian theme. Then we got a very simple Mandalorian Vambrace here. Just two pieces, a white piece, and then I painted on red piece on there, which I think looks a lot like the actual Vambraces that Mandalorians have, so it fits perfectly with this minifigure. But of course, for the other arm I had to go a little bit further and make a very unique armor Vambrace here. So right on the bottom here we got this black piece, which is a flamethrower, which is a classic Mandalorian armor weapon, or arm weapon. And that has a tube that runs down to the jetpack back here, and I will talk about the jetpack at the end of the video, because it is kind of the feature of this figure. But this tube does just come off, it's magnetically attached like that. And then on top of that is probably one of my favorite things that I've ever made for a custom minifigure, and this is this retractable or concealed blade that can just slide out by his hand there and give him a huge advantage in hand-to-hand combat. And that is all made super tiny, so it fits on the arm like that and doesn't look too unproportional with the minifigure, and I think this feature is so cool. And I will definitely be making a tutorial on how to make these concealed blades that I just figured out how to make. So now that the arms are done, I'll just quickly mention like some of the battle damage that we have on here. I just painted some silver bits on the knee pads. You can see we've got the stripe on the helmet there. Lots of brown and black bits around the feet, just to give it a very weathered look here. And I think that's basically it for the aesthetic part of this minifigure, and now we can move on to kind of what I made this whole minifigure around, which is this jetpack with a working rocket launcher. So here, we can take it off quickly right here. It's just magnetically attached to the back of the minifigure. You can see we've got a bunch of magnets on there. So we'll just move this guy right out of the way actually. So now that that's a little more cleaned up there, I can show you how this works. So basically, once it focuses, of course, I've got a Lego Technic pin that I hollowed out a little more using a drill, and then attached with like a bobby pin right there, so it's got a little bit of tilt on it. You can see I can push it back and forth. That's just hot glued all in place, and then it's got this little catch in the back here, and then inside the pin is what shoots the rocket. It's a little compact spring, which I think I got out of a old pen. So now we got our projectile, and this has a similar catch thing as inside the rocket, so that when we slide it in here, just like that, it catches on there and locks it in place. Now unfortunately, because it's only the pivot is only on one side of this pin, it does bend a little bit, so you can see. But now, if you want to shoot it, all you have to do is press down in the back like this, and it shoots out very, very effectively. And I do have a few clips that I'm quickly going to show you of how accurate and powerful this actually is. So let's just go right. Very good. So I did not record this when I filmed it, so unfortunately you're going to have to bear with this subpar headphone microphone quality. But our first test here is an accuracy test, easily hitting that minifigure from a fairly long distance away with plenty of impact force to knock them over. Now we got 5 minifigures all lined up at point blank range. Test these out. Once again, easily knocking them all over. And for the final test, we've got 10 minifigures all lined up in a row, and we will see if they can knock them all over. And there you go, can knock them all over, although they did domino a little bit at the end there. Alright guys, that's it for this video. If you have any questions or queries or any video suggestions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Otherwise, God bless, have a great day, enjoy Canada Day if you're celebrating it, and this is Bisakamad signing off.